Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Hidayah binti Abdul Rashid.
My name is Nur Shazana Peti Shahdan. We are from M3802233A.
In this video presentation, my friend and I will explain about what we have learned in Chapter 4, which is demand forecasting and supply chain. Alright, the role of forecasting in a supply chain is the basis for all strategic and planning decisions in a supply chain. Not only that, it also used for push and pull process, which is process of production, marketing, finance, and personnel. So, under the production activity is scheduling, inventory, and aggregate planning. Under the marketing activity is sales force allocation, promotions, and new production introduction, while under finance activity is equipment investment and budgetary planning. Lastly, under personnel activity is workforce planning, hiring, and layoff. There are 4 characteristics of forecast. First, forecast always inaccurate and should include both the expected value of the forecast and measure of forecast error. Second, long-term forecasts are usually less accurate than short-term forecasts. Third, aggregate forecasts are usually more accurate than disaggregate forecast. Lastly, in general, further up the supply chain a company is greater is the distortion of information received. This is the components of forecast and forecasting methods. First, company must identify the factors that affect future demand, such as past demand, lead time of product replenishment, planned advertising or marketing efforts, state of the economy, and action that taken by the competitors. There are 4 forecasting methods, which is qualitative to forecast, primarily subjective and rely on judgment. Second, time series that can be used to forecast historical demand only, and it is best with stable demand. Third, causal method that used to forecast relationship between demand and some other factor. Fourth, simulation method, which is used to imitate consumer choices that give rise to the demand. This slide is about the components of observation, which is demand. To get the demand, systematic component must plus with a random component. Systematic component is the demand part that can be predicted through its level, trend, and seasonality. Next, random component is the demand that cannot be predicted. This is a 6 basic approach for demand forecasting. First, understand the objective of forecasting. Second, integrate demand planning and forecasting. Third, identify the major factors that affect demand forecast. Fourth, understand and identify customer segments. Fifth, determine appropriate forecasting technique. And lastly, establish performance and error measures for forecast. This slide will explain a little bit about the time series forecasting method. The goal of this method is to predict systematic component of demand and estimate random component. There are 3 types of equation that usually used in this method, which is multiplicative, additive, and mixed.
There are 2 steps to make estimation in static, which are estimate level and trend and estimate seasonal factor. For adaptive, there are 4 steps, which are modify estimates, initialize, forecast, and estimate error. The demand should be lower than forecast or demand should be higher than forecast. There are 4 methods in adaptive forecasting. The first one is moving average. Demand has no observable trend or seasonality. Secondly, simple exponential smoothing. The forecasting data with no clear trend or seasonal pattern. Thirdly, Holt's model that have level and trend but no seasonality. And the last one is Winter's model. Extract and analyze data and statistics and characterize results to more accurately predict the future based on historical data. In risk management, error in forecasting can cause misallocation of resource in inventories, facilities, transportation, sourcing, pricing, and information management. Forecast error in inventories can result in over or underestimation of future demand for products. In facilities, production facilities may be overwhelmed, leading to inefficient use of resources and increased operational costs. Incorrect forecast can impact transportation planning. It can causing a delays in delivering products to customers. Error in sourcing can affect supplier relationship, while error in pricing can affecting profit margins. Inaccurate forecast can lead to miscommunication and coordination issues among different stages of the supply chain, affecting the overall efficiency of the system. Increasing responsiveness in the context of forecasting involves creating a more agile and adaptive supply chain and operation framework. This strategy is aimed at minimizing the impact of forecast errors by allowing the organization to quickly adjust to changing conditions. Rather than focusing solely on minimizing the negative impacts of forecast errors, this strategy involves capitalizing on opportunities that arise from variations in demand. By actively identifying and exploiting positive deviations from forecasts, organizations can turn unpredictability into a strategic advantage. First, forecasting in practice is collaborate in building forecasts. Collaborative forecasting involves bringing together expertise from various departments within an organization to collectively contribute to the forecasting process. This collaborative approach taps into the diverse knowledge and insights of individuals from sales, marketing, production, and other relevant departments. By fostering open communication and collaborations, organizations can create more accurate and comprehensive forecasts that reflect a holistic understanding of market dynamics, customer behavior, and internal capabilities. Secondly, share only data that is truly valuable. In the context of forecasting, it's essential to be selective about the data shared within the organization. This ensures that decision makers have access to the most critical and actionable insights. Streamlining data sharing also helps to prevent information overload and allows teams to focus on key factors influencing demand, making the forecasting process more efficient and effective. Lastly, distinguishing between demand and sales is crucial for an accurate forecasting process. Demand represents the true market need or desire for a product or service, while sales reflect the actual units sold. Thank you for taking the time to listen and watch our presentation.